Alicia. Hello, everybody. I am Moshumi. I'm a registered dietitian, and I am super excited again to do this episode of Let's Say Yes to Carbs. So, the reason I picked this topic today is because, especially lately in the last couple months, I've had a lot of people say, I can't do carbs. And then with the coming up of all these diets, it's become even more prevalent about the no carbs. So, anyways, today's topic is say yes to carbs. Can you guys hear me? Is everybody able to hear me? Right, just want to make sure it's all good and we are able to. Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, guys. Okay. So I guess, yes, I see that. Okay. Yes, I see you guys can hear me. Okay, perfect. So again, kind of repeating really quick in case some people just joined. I am a registered dietitian. I'm Moshumi, and today's topic is let's say yes to carbs. So I remember, as a young girl, the fad then was about fats, and everybody would go, no fats, you just can't have fats if you are trying to cut back, your calories or lose weight and things like that. But now, lately it's carb. Carb is like our villain. People just say, things like, you've got the wheat belly or, grain brains, things like that. So, but believe me, carbs are not the villain. Okay. So, I am, here to kind of discuss the different myths about carbs, about carbohydrates and, things that are on the hype, but that might not be true. So the first myth that's very prevalent is when people talk about carbs, they think it's just, grains. It's your breads and your grains and your pastas. Of course, those are your, those are your carbs. But remember, a lot of your carbs are actually coming in from like your plant products, your legumes. So it's not always that your carbs are only coming from your grains. Now, grains, I admit it, are the most controversial carbs because, the whole deal is when, we are talking about carbs and grains, it is the quality of grains that is more important. So, when I push or when I say grains are extremely important, I am talking about whole grains. In the hierarchy, grains have the hierarchy, and we are looking at grains that are not processed, that are coming in the whole natural form, like for example, your millets, your quinoa, cracked wheat, steel cut oats, your amaranth, your sorghum. These are your whole intact grains, and these are excellent for you. These are wonderful for you. In fact, these help with improving your glycemic index. I work with a lot of diabetics, pre-diabetics, people with weight issues, and I always recommend at least having one carb in your meal. It's all about the quality of carb we are choosing. It is not, say no to carbs. That's not correct. It is, again, the quality of our carbs that we really want to work on. And of course, there is, like I said, there is that, I call it the grain phobia. People just go, oh my gosh, grains. Here I'm trying to lose weight. I can't have any grains. Not true. You can. It is, again, the portions. It's, again, the quality. I mean, I cannot speak enough, guys, about the quality of grains that, you are wanting to have. That is more important than anything else. And again, that myth that your carbs are coming only from your grains is not true. It comes from many, many other things, right? From your plants and your, legumes and so many of that. The other thing I hear a lot is carbs are fattening. In fact, research shows that for long-term weight loss, your multigrain, your whole, your intact grains help you lose weight. They, for short term, if somebody is looking for short term weight loss, yes, you cut out all your carbs, you're going to lose the weight, but you gain it back again. In fact, the reason I, am discussing today's topic is because probably, I don't know what, like about 60% of my clientele that I'm seeing are like keto failures. They are not able to sustain it because it's not sustainable and it's not good for you for long term. So again, for long term weight loss, try doing, your whole grains. And for, anybody who's trying to, work with grains, I say a couple of things that I really push for is look at the fiber content, okay? Fiber, a grain that is high in fiber, it's good for you. I mean, if you don't want to bother about any other things, look at the fiber, for the quality of grain. Look at the processing the grain has gone through. That's extremely important, so like processed, as we process it, sometimes we're losing some of the nutrients. And I will be talking about that in one of my other sessions. But right for now, an intact grain is a grain that has the bran, that has the endosperm, that has the germs. It's your whole grain, and that is good for you. So anyways, coming to our next myth, right? The next myth is all white foods are bad for you. People often will tell me, I cannot have anything that's white because it's unhealthy. And a poor potato, of course, gets the bad reputation. But tell you what, potatoes, I know they're carbs, but, potato also has some potassium. It's got some vitamins. Have your potato with the skin on. It's got some fiber. And again, think about portion sizes when you're doing it too, and get adventurous. Let's try our yellow potatoes, the red potatoes, the purple potatoes. There are so many different kinds of potatoes. So don't always think potatoes mean russet potatoes. So that's another myth. Another one that I commonly hear about are low carb diets are the healthier diets. Again, I don't know where that comes, but, people keep telling me they're your healthier diets also, which is not true, which is absolutely not true, is that, your carbohydrates cause inflammation. So again, if you are able to do your whole intact grains, like I said, your millets, your barley, your brown rice, whole grains, they in fact are anti-inflammatory. So many of your plant proteins are anti-inflammatory. They've got so much fiber, they've got so much phytonutrients. They're actually going to help fight some of the inflammatory diseases. So again, it's the choice we are making, right? So let's not, think that, oh my gosh, carbs are, causing my inflammation. Of course, if you sit down and have plain refined sugar, of course, that is inflammatory. But it is, again, the quality of carbs that, we are looking at. And this one, another one that really, really bothers me is when people go, I have to avoid fruits. I can't do fruits because, I'm either diabetic or, I'm trying to lose weight or, and they equate fruit with sugar. Yes, fruit does have sugar, but it's natural sugars, and another day, I will talk about your natural sugars versus, again, processed sugars and how they, cause our blood glucose levels to rise and what happens. But guys, I mean, try to push your high fiber fruits. Absolutely, your kiwis, your berries, your pears, your apple with the skin on. I mean, they're packed with fibers. They are not just sugar. And again, my pet peeve is it's about the wholeness. So, just like you have to, until and unless you put the pieces of the puzzle together to form, your whole puzzle, similarly, balance is the key. So until and unless you are putting, putting your, your carbs and your fats and your protein in balance, there is no way you can have a long, sustainable, healthy lifestyle. So anyway, so do not avoid your fruits. Even like I said, I work with multiple pre-diabetics, diabetics. We've reversed conditions, and we've never avoided fruit. Yes, what we've done is maybe cut back on some portion sizes. Timings of your carbs are important too, but saying no to fruit, absolutely not. We would never. I would never. As a dietitian, I would never recommend that. The other thing is glycemic index, So glycemic index in isolation, because some people tell me, okay, the glycemic index of, say, chocolate is this, or this fruit is this. Do not just plain compare glycemic index. In isolation, that won't work. So again, it's like a puzzle piece. We need to look at many factors, right? So that's important too. The next question then is, here are the myths. So the next question is, how much carbs? People often will ask me, how much carbs do I need? I will tell you right in the beginning, it is very different for everybody. So every diet or every person's diet is tailor-made for their bodies. And I'm not just talking about like the height, weight, there's multiple factors when we consider calories, right? How much are they working out? What is their lifestyle? What are the pre-existing conditions in there? There's so much to consider for calories and carbs. So, I could never compare one person to other. Rule of thumb, though, is about 45 to 60% of your calories typically should come from your carbs. But like I said, it would very much vary on multiple factors. And remember, guys, calories. So many, somebody could tell you, you can only have so many grams of carbs, right? These are numbers. So you have to work with what, works for you. That's super duper important, and that's where we come in. And, I have somebody set on, say, 15 or 20 grams of carbs, say for breakfast, then I am working with multiple things before I say that. So again, remember, it is a number. It's different for everybody, but again, rule of thumb is, about 45 to 60. And if it gets hard for you, where you're like, oh my gosh, how much carbs and and so on. Rule of thumb, I say at least have one carb source in your meal, every snack. Now, yes, again, it should be a intact whole grain carb, or your carb could of course come from like a plant source or your legume or whatever, but just make sure that you do have a carb source in there too. And then, the other thing that comes in is why carbs? I mean, why do we need carbs, right? So carbs are needed for, your caloric metabolism. They are needed for your fat metabolism. So, carbs are essential. The other thing is carbs, believe me or not, there is something called, needed for detoxification. There is something called your glucuronic acid, and, it's broken down from glucose. And what it does is, it combines with like toxins in our body, and that then it helps us excrete. So it is needed for detoxification. Then we've got, carbs are needed for like a red blood cell function, for nerve function. Very important role of carbs is for brain function. That's extremely important. So on an average, about 140 grams of carbs are needed per day for your brain to function right. And then, you do not want to break your protein reserves for energy. So that's another important thing, is why we need our carbs. Also, very close to my heart is carbs support your GI system, your microbiome. Remember how in my last session I was talking about healthy gut means healthy moods, happy moods. So, to have a good high fiber, a nice microbiome in your GI system, you do need carbs. And finally, I would say, carbs are also stored as glycogen in our body, and that's how we get our energy. So, guys, I mean, that's another important thing. Just a couple of days back, I had a mom who had come to me for a consult for her young daughter that she wanted to take all carbs away. And, here's an athlete. We cannot, they need that energy. So we cannot take away the carbs from them. So hopefully that has given you guys an idea of, why we need carbs. Don't say no, don't say no to your carbs, please. They are important for you. Again, choose the quality, quantity, and the timing of your carbs is what is very important. So, and all of you watching, if there are topics you want me to discuss, if you have questions, please text, let me know. I'm happy. I live nutrition is what I say. This is my passion. And before I go, I have this dessert. I don't know if you guys can actually see it, but just wanted to, since this is supposed to be lunch with the dietitian, I kind of wanted to show you guys my lunch for today. So what this is, guys, super easy. I am not somebody who likes to spend time in the kitchen. So tell you what, it's got minimal ingredients, super easy to make, took me just like 5 minutes. So what do I have? So I have my favorite drink, kefir. It's packed with your, we were just talking about, the microbiota. So this has got good amount of that. And what I did is, I took about 3 to 4, teaspoons of chia. This is black chia seed. I poured it in my bowl, poured my kefir drink with the chia, and just make sure you move it really well and quickly. So, because otherwise it's going to kind of get lumpy. So you have your pudding. And then, I made with my steel cut oats, I've made some homemade granola. So if you can see, sorry, we've got the granola on top, and then I've topped it with my berries. So super healthy. If you want it sweet, guys, just maybe add a tad bit of your maple syrup. I like it like this, but like I said, this is a wonderful whole meal. It's got your carbs, which is your steel cut oats. I've got my fruit, I've got my chia, and then I've got my kefir too. So I'm all set, and I will see you guys next week. For everybody watching, due to some scheduling changes, I've had to move my lunch with dietitian to Fridays. So I will see you guys Friday noon Eastern time zone. And I know a lot of people are watching me from all over the world. India, I think it's about 9:30. Singapore, I see, people watching me from all over, but please join me. I'm living my passion. I love nutrition. I love to help people, and I will see you guys next week. Stay happy and healthy. Take care, and, see you guys next week. Bye-bye.